Ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is Brandon from youtube.com/Brandon Tilford. And I got a ton of requests to do a tutorial video for Your Love Never Fails by Jesus Culture. And, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a shot. This is my first tutorial video, so let's see what we can do here. I'm going to treat you, my audience, as though you have an intermediate knowledge of piano. So for instance, if I play an A chord, if I tell you to play an A chord, then I'm going to assume that you know what that is. So an A chord would be an A triad here. And that's actually the key of the song. The key, Your Love Never Fails, is in A, so we've got three sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And pretty much any combination of notes that we play during this song will be a combination of those 7 notes right there. So definitely something to keep in mind if you don't normally think of songs in that respect. It can definitely be very helpful between hitting the right note and the wrong note. So I'm going to start off with the verse of this song, and I'm just going to block out the chords and play a very simple melody with them so you can follow along. So the first chord is F sharp, then a D, then A, then E, so the first 4 chords just cycle through, repeat over and over again. That is A, E, F sharp, minor, and D. And we can make this a little bit nicer, make it flow a little bit better by playing inversions of these chords in the left hand. So by inversion, if you don't know what that means, it basically means with an F sharp minor chord, for instance, F sharp, A, and C sharp, you take, for instance, the bottom note, F sharp, you take it away and you put it on top. So this is the first inversion of an F sharp minor chord. So it might flow something like this. So I might do an inversion of the D chord and the A chord. So you'll see that in just a second. And I'm just playing these chords on the downbeat, the beat 1 of each measure. There are 4 counts in a measure in the song. It's in 4/4 time. Depending on what part of the song you're playing, so in verse 2, for instance, which is the exact same chord pattern as verse 1, I may want to make it a little bit more dramatic, a little bit louder, building up an intensity. And so I may want to hit this F sharp down lower. Really adds a whole lot to it. You can add that if you want to add more intensity to a particular part of a song you're playing. Definitely getting that lower register in will help a ton. So let's say I'm playing verse 2. And here I'm just playing the bass note on beat 1 of each measure, and I'm playing the chord on the and of 2. You can play it at another time. You could play it on count 2, so you could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that, for instance. Here I was doing it on the and, so and of 2, so 1 and 2 and 3 and and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can mix it up. It's all about what sort of syncopation you want with this song. So anyway, that covers both verses. Let's go to the chorus now. This is going to start on a D chord, and still in the key of A. So most of these chords, with the exception of B minor here, or me playing a B minor chord at a particular point. So watch for that. So it's those 4 chords in the chorus. And also during instrumentals, I'll play that same. It's sort of like an intro or between the chorus and verse 2. So there I blocked it out very simply for you. Now I'm going to do some of the inversion that I told you about. So So there I inverted actually most of the chords there, and you'll notice that, let's say with the, here you've got a D, and here you've got an A chord, and then an E chord, and then a B minor chord. And I try to hover over sort of a general location, so a lot of times I'll play these chords and I try to do as little movement between each chord as possible. Really actually helps with the flow of the song quite a bit, and it makes it sound a whole lot less blocky. It's much more natural feeling, so, as opposed to you have something like this. And again, particularly most choruses, generally speaking, are going to have more intensity to them, so you might want to bring in that bass note that I was talking about before. So it might sound something like this. So there, you might see that I'm adding just a little bit more in the right hand there. But, just do whatever you feel comfortable with. And, it may be too much for some people to go, hit that bass note and then in the lower register and then hit that chord very quickly. And that's totally understandable. I mean, it took me years to really get that to a point where I felt very comfortable with it. So, if you just want to block it out and not have that bass note there, that's perfectly fine. Especially if you're playing this in a praise and worship setting where you've got a bass player anyway, it's hitting that bass note can be redundant sometimes and actually might be something you don't want to do. So especially if you're playing with the band, a full band setup, this is perfectly fine. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go to the bridge, and I'll block this out very simply first. And repeats that one more time. So generally that'll go in a cycle of 4. You can extend that more if you like. Just all depends on what you want to do. Here I'll add a little bit more intricacy to it. You can see how it goes. So again, we're just employing those principles that I taught you during the verse and chorus sessions. I think actually I've taught you the 3 basic parts of this song. I say let's just put them all together, and I might elaborate a little more, but that's the core of the song by far. And you know, I'm not giving you sheet music. This is I play these songs by ear. You know, I very much work in terms of chords. You know, give me a list of chords for a song, and you know, I'll play that and fill in where I feel necessary. You know, this way of learning is not for everybody, but it can be a lot of fun, and can, you know, it allows for a lot of creativity actually. And I think learning songs this way, as opposed to learning them on sheet music, allows people to be very creative and sort of come into their own and develop their own personal style. So, all right, here we go, guys. Thanks for watching.
you.